I was talking to Louis Riddick on my radio show yesterday, the Max Kellerman Show, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+. Dan Orlovsky is a frequent guest. And I asked Louis Riddick, what would happen if Justin Fields said this? What do you think would happen to his draft stock? You know, I think people would be much more readily, they would recognize, Now, am I scared to death? No. But of course your eyebrows raise because I know that there have been athletes in the past, like I think of Kevin Durant when he was on OKC. Stephen A., Marcellus and I used to talk about this on Max and Marcellus back in the day, afternoon drive in L.A. He came out and said, look, it's not my whole life. There are more important things in life, that kind of stuff. And, you're covering a team with Kobe Bryant back then, the Lakers. And so we're like, okay, I guess it's possible to be among the greatest of all time and not have the Mamba mentality. I know that, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird and these killers did it one way. KD may just be a different kind of cat. And as it turned out, he was indeed, great. But it's not usually the way it goes. We can't pretend that we don't get a little bit alarmed when we don't hear Tom Brady in a guy. When we don't hear a guy, I eat, sleep, I live this. If you cut open my head, all you find is a football. That's all I want to do is win, 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 win. It's possible he could be great anyway. It's just not normally the way it goes. And so, of course, I would be concerned.
I have very little concern. I get your point as it pertains to what if Justin Fields had said that? What if Trey Lance had said that? Because let's face reality, we live in a time and age where no matter how much we try to debunk it, shove it aside or whatever, black individuals that play the quarterback position are judged differently. We see it. We see evidence time and time again. I personally am incredibly alarmed by how Justin Fields could be viewed as the number 2 quarterback once the season is over. And without a game being played, an interception being thrown, a turnover being committed, suddenly he's number 5. Even though now Vegas has him moving up, the odds are in favor of him moving up to the number 3 slot instead of all the way down to number 5 behind Mac Jones and Trey Lance. So that's a different subject to another day. But as it pertains to Trevor Lawrence, let me tell you why I have very little concern. Part of the reason I have very little concern is his resume. His resume, he's completed 66.6% of his passes. He's thrown 90 touchdowns and just 17 interceptions in 3 years. His record is 39-3. He's a national champion. He's been to the playoffs all 3 years. This dude has been electrifying for the most part. And there was a college football season last year because of him in large part, because he stood up and raised his voice and talked about the importance of these games continuing to be played. So let's not underestimate it at all. He might not be giving the media anything for bulletin board or headline material, but the reality is that he is passionate about a few things, and when he has been passionate about it, he's expressed himself in a way that lets us know he's not some cyborg like you would call Kawhi Leonard, Max. So let's take that into consideration. And last but not least, nobody else is going to say it, so I will. You know what? He's not black, to my knowledge. He doesn't come from an impoverished background or anything like that. So what chip should he have on his shoulders? The reality of the situation is that life has been very, very comfortable for him, and we know that the sky's the limit for him in the future. So as a result of that, you know what? It doesn't bother me that he doesn't walk around with a chip on his shoulders because he doesn't have to. He can just go out there and perform without a care in the world because compared to most people, he doesn't really have that much to worry about, considering the kind of life that he has had and the kind of life he's earned and will continue to earn. I have no problem with what he said coming from him.
Yeah, a motivation is fleeting. Habits are everything. Trevor Lawrence is talking about, I'm not motivated to prove people wrong or to prove doubters wrong. Motivation comes and goes. You guys know that, especially for athletes. Motivation comes and goes. What's your habits like? I need you to have championship habits. You're the person that's going to go to bed every night and have to get up in the morning and do the work. Are you committed to those habits rather than being motivated by what some people say? Now, initially when I heard these comments, I was taken back. I was like, wait, what? He said what? Because my thought process was like, how is he going to go be great? Like, how can you go be great thinking that way? But something that, I've been reminded of with my past month or so in talking with NFL general managers and honestly tied to the things that I had said that I had heard about with Justin Fields is the tape is everything. The tape is everything, and the tape is everything. And there is nothing on Trevor Lawrence's tape that makes me think he's not committed to football. And a quote in this article, in this Sports Illustrated article, it's a great article, a quote that is being left out is at the very end of the article. I tell everybody something, again, that I've been reminded about of last month is do every bit of your homework that is necessary. Because I read the whole article, and the very end of the article says that his high school coach at Lawrenceville, Georgia, brought him in there in high school. And he said, Trevor, what are your goals? You got to give me a goal. You got to have a goal. And Trevor Lawrence didn't even look at him. He just looked off and said, I want to be one of the greatest to ever do it. And that's not getting talked about, right? So, like, if he's committed to that, if that is something that is internalized for him, then him saying, I'm not motivated, there is no doubt. He's been the guy since he was 13 years old. So I don't have any concerns about it. And it is potentially a different situation for him in compared to other quarterbacks.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.